Hey there, I'm Joe Carter. If you've ever popped the hood and thought, where do I even start? You're in good company. Around here, we take the mystery out of car repair, one fix at a time. Whether you're a beginner or just looking to sharpen your skills, there's something here for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're into learning without the headaches. All right, that's enough from me. Let's get into it.
Cigarette lighter, an indispensable attribute of any car. Often there is a need for an additional cigarette lighter, located in the trunk or on the panel, next to the main one. Through the splitter you can connect up to 3 different devices to one cigarette lighter. The additional cigarette lighter is connected directly to the battery. After reading the article, you will learn how to connect the cigarette lighter in the car correctly, without harming your car. How the cigarette lighter works. Car cigarette lighter, it is 2 devices, a heating element and a connector, plug, in a convenient housing. It can be directly connected to the battery, so the device works even if the ignition switch is off. In addition to the main purpose of the plug is often used as a 12/24 volt socket, to which you connect a splitter that provides power to a laptop, phone or other devices. A splitter is also connected to it, so that you can simultaneously charge your laptop, phone or use a video recorder. The splitter or power supplies of these devices are inserted into the plug, which provides a reliable connection to the contacts of the cigarette lighter socket. What you will need for tapping the cigarette lighter. If you decide to install an additional cigarette lighter, then you will need the following tools: drill, a set of metal drills, a metal drill bit, the diameter of which corresponds to the selected cigarette lighter, round and flat files, soldering iron, solder, rosin, pliers, screwdriver set, heat shrink tubing, switch, fuse, wire, ordinary cable splitter, 220 volts, from a hardware store. How to install the cigarette lighter. Before starting work, be sure to disconnect the battery minus terminal and make sure the ignition switch is in the off position. There is no single method of inserting this device, as cigarette lighters differ in length, size and shape of the housing, as well as the method of attachment. The easiest way is to insert this device into a suitably sized hole. If there is no such place and you could not find a suitable crown, mark the contours of the opening, then around the perimeter very densely drill holes with a diameter of 2 to 3 millimeters. After that, carefully bite off the jumpers between the holes with a side cutter, and then level the landing place with a file. Insert the cigarette lighter to make sure that the place is prepared correctly. Correct the hole if necessary. Do not install the plug on curved or grooved surfaces because you will not be able to secure it properly. Remember, the distance from the bottom of the cigarette lighter housing to any bodywork must be at least 2 centimeters. Having prepared the seating area, proceed to the selection of the wire and fuse. A plug directly connected to the battery can easily transfer up to 30 to 40 amperes of current, so the load power limitation depends on the wire thickness and fuse rating. Each millimeter of cross-section of stranded wire is capable of transferring 5 to 10 amps of current to the plug. If you are going to connect a 300 to 500 watt load, the current will be 25 to 40 amperes. The cross-section of the wire for such current will be 4 to 6 millimeters. Attempting to pass such a current through a smaller cross-section wire will cause it to melt or catch fire. Consider the path for the wire that will directly connect the plug and the battery. Preferably, it should be routed through the technological holes in the body next to the standard wiring. Remove the interior and trunk floor trim, then carefully inspect the chosen path for the wire. If it is possible to run it through the pre-made holes, do so. If not, drill new ones. At the nearest auto store, buy rubber gaskets that will protect the wires from the sharp edges of the hole in the body. Drill holes, focusing on the diameter of the gasket and treat their edges first with a file, then with anti-corrosion materials. Attach the wire to the body or to the tire of the standard wiring with plastic clamps. How to connect the cigarette lighter with your own hands correctly. Never connect the cigarette lighter to the ignition switch. The ignition system will not support such a load. Having laid the wire in the underhood space, lead it to the plus terminal of the battery, connect the fuse and then attach it to the terminal. If for some reason you cannot do this, bring the wire with the fuse to the starter and attach it to the plus terminal of the relay. Strip the end of the wire 1 cm, place it over the terminal, then crimp it with pliers. Be sure to secure the wire so that it does not dangle anywhere. To attach the wire to the cigarette lighter, use a soldering iron or the appropriate terminal, depending on the model of the device. Install a fuse and a switch near the cigarette lighter. This will increase the safety of using this device. Do not confuse the arrangement of parts: battery, fuse, switch, relay, cigarette lighter. The switch must be rated for 1.5 times the current of the maximum load. If such a switch is not available, attach a relay with a suitable current rating next to the switch. Some drivers place the switch and relay near the ignition switch. Connect the switch to the control contact of the relay, and the cigarette lighter to the power contact. To do this, put heat shrink tubing over the bare ends of the wire, then put on and crimp the terminals. Correct the tube so that it completely covers the place of connection of the terminal and the wire, then heat with a match or lighter. You can also install an ordinary cable splitter, 220 volts, which are sold in hardware stores. Find the nearest ground connection point. The wire is bolted directly to the body. Unscrew the bolt, clean the contact pads of the terminal and the body. Run a piece of wire from the relay and cigarette lighter to the ground hole to determine the length, then cut, strip the ends. Fuse, switch, check all connections carefully. The relay and splitter must be securely attached to the housing. After making sure that everything is in order, check that the ignition switch is in the off position and connect the battery. Use a tester to measure the voltage at the unconnected battery. Put the minus terminal on the appropriate battery lead and measure the voltage again. If there is no change, all is well. Has dropped at least 0.5 volts, turn on and off all electrical appliances, including the ignition system. If the voltage has not risen, disconnect the battery and look for a short circuit. When everything is normal, turn the switch back on and measure the battery voltage again. Once you're sure everything is correct, measure the voltage at the cigarette lighter contacts. If everything is okay, you have successfully completed the job. Cigarette lighter device car electrician's kit cigarette lighter connection. In conclusion, connecting your cigarette lighter correctly is a straightforward process that can enhance your driving experience. By following the steps outlined in this video, you can ensure a safe and efficient connection. Remember to always check your vehicle's manual for specific instructions and safety precautions. With the right approach, you can enjoy the convenience of your cigarette lighter without any hassle. Thank you for watching, and drive safely.